Hello and welcome to Hexed Encountered. I'm Joe. In this video, we will be doing a playthrough of the game Flashpoint South China Sea. This is from designer Harold Buchanan and is published by GMT Games. We will be playing the solitaire game, and I will play as the United States, taking on the People's Republic of China. So, as I said, this will be the solitaire game, and we've started the setup, kind of started the setup, I should say. So, basically, you've got the PRC here, the USA over here. They have red cubes. We have blue cubes. You have tracks here for tension. There's a track here for the campaign. And then I'm going to show you the bottom half of the board because the board is kind of long. So this is basically the top half. And we'll look at the bottom half here. And this is the bottom half. And so down here, there's a victory track, which we started at 0. You can start at various places to increase or reduce difficulty. This is the normal difficulty for the U.S., playing as the U.S. against China. Easy would be here at the U.S. having 3, and then there's a difficult one, which I think starts with China having more victory points. So basically, you're kind of scoring points in various areas in the South China Sea area. So you've got Vietnam, the Philippines, Brunei, Indonesia, and Malaysia. Those are your 5 main areas. Some of them have islands attached to them. 3 of the 5 do. You've got the Spratly Islands with Malaysia, the Paracel Islands with Vietnam. And up here, a little bit off shot, but you saw it on the previous shot when we were looking at the top half, the Scarborough Shoal attached to the Philippines. So basically, your goal is to move your cubes into these areas, either economic or diplomatic. We have blue for the U.S., red for the Chinese, and that will determine who controls that area. There are 3 campaigns, which are basically 3 phases of the game. So you'll play campaign 1, then you'll play campaign 2, then you'll play campaign 3, and at the end, whoever has the most victory points wins. There's also instant victories for both sides, 15 on each side. If the U.S. gets 2 here or the Chinese get to there, that wins the game for them. So there is a solo player aid card, 2-sided, Chinese opponent on one side, the U.S. opponent on the other side. So this game is soloable from either side. You can play as the Chinese or as the United States, and it works out just fine. You can also play it, of course, with 2 people, one playing as China and the other playing as the US. So the first thing we're going to do here for our setup, beyond what I've already done. Now all the blocks, the cubes that you saw in the boxes, they will not start in those areas. Part of what we're going to be setting up is putting those in the right areas. We have a solo deck here, which is relatively small, doesn't have a ton. I think it's 8 cards. This controls the bot actions, okay, along with the event cards. So they kind of get to use both for the solo bot. So the first thing we're going to do for ourselves, excuse me, is to draw 6 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are our cards. I'll keep my draw deck up there. So we'll move the camera back and forth because this way you can see the map a little better, the game board a little better than if I just kind of widened the shot out to take in the whole board at once. This way you can see the board a little bit better, and I'll just adjust the shot as we go along to show whatever area we're working with. We'll mostly probably be down here because these are the scoring areas. Now on the top half, we also had scorecards, which you can see along here. So you've got Brunei, Indonesia, Malaysia, Vietnam, and the Philippines. Then you also have economics, and the CR FONOP. So CR and FONOP are in the islands. So you can see FONOP is the US side, CR is the Chinese side. So you score points there by having a differential that's higher on the 3 island groups. And then economics, you score that whichever side has the most economic blocks out. So that would be in the five main areas. And then each of these 5 countries will also score you points if you can control them, and you control them basically by locking them up through political warfare, and you can see that here. So you put some of your cubes into these 3 boxes, and then that enables you to then lock up that to lock up a territory where you have the advantage. And then this card would get flipped, like this. And then that would indicate that it is not in play anymore. And then at the end of the campaign, you reset all the cards back. And you move on from campaign 1 to campaign 2 to campaign 3. And at the end of campaign 3, whoever has the most points wins the game. Okay, let's set up our cubes. We get four in the available and 2 in reserve. And we'll take the rest and we're going to do something else with those. The enemy starts with 6 available. And we're going to do something with the rest of theirs as well. So I'm going to slide these down because they're going to go in various areas here on the map. Okay, so for the U.S., they get 2 in Vietnam economic. And this is marked right on the board. You can see the little triangles here. That marks where those go. So we'll just continue to put these in there where they go. And then the Chinese will get the red ones, of course. And I think that covers it. So they have 5 left and we have 5 left. Move these up. Okay, so because they have... So we're going to add 4 enemy cubes. We're going to draw a solo card. So we'll draw a solo card. And place 1 economic influence cube in each of the first 2 countries listed in the place influence. So that's here. So the Philippines and Indonesia will each get 1 Chinese. Philippines and Indonesia each get 1. Draw a second solo card and place 1 enemy. And again, we're going to do the same thing, and it's again going to be the Philippines. And this time Malaysia. So we're going to take 2 more cubes. And the Philippines, actually they're out of... they're out. So I don't know what that would mean. I'm going to put 1 in Malaysia. And I'll use the third. Well, Indonesia's full as well. So let's put it in Brunei. Okay. So now that is done, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my 4 remaining cubes and put them where I want. And so I will put 1 in Vietnam to give us an advantage there, 1 in Malaysia to counter them, 1 in Indonesia to counter them, and then 1 in the Philippines to counter them. So we're only behind here in Brunei, and I could have matched them exactly. This way we have the edge in Vietnam, they have the edge in Brunei. All right, now the next thing is we'll start the regular gameplay. So you have your solo player aid card, which gives you their sequence of play, and the solo bot goes first in each campaign and each turn. So the turns are based on the number of cards. There are 6 cards in my hand, and in a 2-player game, the other player would also have a hand. In the solo game, they don't. So I have 6 cards. These are the cards. Now the cards are color-coded. So if you've played card-driven games, you're probably somewhat familiar with some of the way these work. The colors indicate events that are playable by that side. So red would indicate this would be a Chinese event. Blue would be a US event. And then black is a neutral event that could be played either way. And then all the cards also have an ops value, which is the number. And they also have a mode, which is the symbol here. So you've got military and financial or economic and diplomatic, I think. But anyway, you have different modes as well. Okay, so I'm going to move some stuff around here to make more room and have the cards be visible, like so. Now, if you see this here, that's actually the rule book that I have open so I can refer to it as I am playing. And then over here is the solo card, and I'll bring that out and show things as we go. So we're going to draw an event card. Now, this is the event card that the solo bot would be using. You cannot play the event because it's a US event. Our point value is a 2. This mode is actually territorial. And then down here you have a country that you can use for the scoring impact. And then, of course, the 13 down there is the card number. So I'm going to put this here. And we're going to look at our sequence of play. So reveal the solo opponent's event card, which is this card right here. Attempt scoring with the solo opponent's event card or friendly mode match. If solo opponent scores, end turn. All right, so you can, the event is an American event, so it can't use that. And then the mode only comes into effect on the previous event card. This is the first event card, so there is no previous event card, so they can't use that either. So the next step is to draw a solo card. So we draw a solo card. And now here we have the solo card. And now the solo card has three areas, right? You have resolve, political warfare, and it's based on the flag. The U.S. flag is on all the cards because the U.S. is adept, I suppose you could say, at political warfare. Then you've got the CR phone-op area, which are the islands, and you have Spratly, Paracel, and Scarborough. They're all on here. And then influence, and then there's an order of countries. So you could do something in Malaysia and the Philippines, etc. Usually you go the top two and then draw a card and you do the next top two, etc. That's usually how things work. So you draw a solo card, you look, check for friendly mode match. Well, we don't have that. We know that already. If tension is not critical, if match. So we're skipping 3, we go to 4. If the solo event card is a 1-op card, it's not, it's a 2-op card. And then we go to 5. If tension's not critical, which it's not, and the solo card indicates political warfare for China, it does not. As you can see, the Chinese flag is not on this card, just the U.S. flag. Attempt political warfare. So we're going to go all the way to 6, which is perform operations. So operations, you have basically these two cards right here, these two countries right here. At the top, Malaysia and the Philippines. It's a 2-op. It's a 2-point event card. The event card has a 2 on it. So it's a 2-point event card. So we have operations costs here, and they're based on the tension level. Our tension level right now is low, as you would expect. So the way the solo bot works is we're playing against China. So the solo bot's containing China, and CR stands for Chinese Reclamation. So with low, it costs 1 to do that, and this is their primary thing. It is higher on their card than the influences, as you can see. So they would do Spratly and Paracel first on this card. So each of those will cost 1. So they have 2, and they're going to place, they're available. We're going to take 2 of their available, and we're going to place 1 in Paracel and 1 in Spratly. And then that would be the end of their turn, and then it would become the U.S. turn, and then we look at our cards and decide what we want to do. So let's look at the blue ones first, because these are events that we could actually play. So we have protests by Chinese veterans over pensions distract Beijing. If the U.S. has more than 7 diplomatic influence, place 3 U.S. influence. So this is not true. We can't play this event because we have oh, wait a minute. How much influence more than 7 diplomatic influence. Yeah, we don't. We have no diplomatic influence. We don't have anything out here right now in the diplomatic area. Then we have USS Carl Vinson makes historic port call in Vietnam. If at least 3 U.S. influence in Vietnam, place 2 U.S. influence in Vietnam, and place 1 phone op at Paracel Islands. So we can do this because we have 3 influence in Vietnam. Yeah, and it doesn't specify diplomatic influence like this one does. It just says influence. So we can place 2 U.S. influence in Vietnam. That would both be diplomatic. And 1 in the phone op for the Paracel Islands. Okay. So now this card gets discarded. And it goes back to the solo bot. They draw an event card. This one is a 1. It is the president of the Philippines, Rodrigo Duterte. Tension to any level, then execute as a 1 operation value card. So again, we look here at this. Attempt scoring with the solo opponent's event card. So we do have this. Tension to any level, then execute as a 1 operation value card. Okay, so looking at this down here where it says CR phone up, you would check this because this could score for them, right? So right now, nothing is in Scarborough Shoal, which is up here. But the Chinese have a CR here and a CR here, so they have 2. We have 1. So they can use this card to do the scorecard for CR phone op, which is this guy right here. And this says compare CRs and phone ops. The side with a positive differential scores it as victory points not exceeding 4. So they're going to score. I'm going to flip it over and put it back, and they're going to score 1 victory point. So we're going to move the track 1 point in this direction, and that ends their turn, and we go back to our turn. So again, we don't have any diplomatic points out yet. Now we have 2 kind of neutral events here. We have this one, which is economics. Now, looking at economics, I think we actually are ahead of them. We have 3 here, 3, 6, 8, 10, and they have 3, 4, 6, 8, wait, 2, 4, 6, 7, 10. We both have 10, right? 3, 6, 8. Yeah, we both have 10. So that's not, we're not going to do this. Tension to any level, and then execute as a 1 operation value card. Then we have the leader of Taiwan on this one. And this is Malaysia. Malaysia, we're also tied, so we can't use that. Then you have the 2 Chinese events that we can't use. One is a 3 and one is a 2. This one has Philippines on it, and we're tied in the Philippines. The only place we have an advantage right now is Vietnam. So we have a 3-op and a 2-op that we can play, basically. Okay, so right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this card for the 3 ops, and then I'm going to take one of my available and I'm going to put it in the Philippines. So that's 1. As you can see, place 1 influence. We're still at low. So we do that, and then I'll use another one here to move 1 from, and you can't really see that, but I have them in reserve. I have 2 in my reserve, and rather than move it up because there's not that much up there to see, I'm going to pay 1 to move 1 to available, and then I'm going to take that 1 available and I'm going to put it in political warfare. And then that ends my turn. Oh, and I forgot to increase tension here. So hang on a second. This changes things up a little bit. Actually, it doesn't, because everything still would be. So he placed CR, which would have moved us to medium, and then I placed CR, which would have moved us to high. So in high, you can see the costs vary, but they only vary for placing Chinese reclamation, would cost 3. And then there is some stuff that's not possible. So we can't resolve political warfare, for example, if it goes up to critical. So, having said all of that, now let's go back to drawing a card for the solo bot. They get another neutral card. This is the Prime Minister of Japan, Shinzo Abe. Tension to any level, then execute as a 1 operation value card. They have economics as well. Now, as we already established, the economics are tied at the moment, because they have 2, 4, 6, 7, 10, and we have 3, 6, 8, 10. So we're tied. So they're going to play this, I think, if we go through our thing here. They can't score, and they can't match the mode, which would have allowed them to play this card for its event. And then draw a solo card. So that's next. So we draw a solo card. This is our solo card. Now, this one has the Chinese flag on it. So, again, we check for friendly mode match. No. If the solo's event card is a 1-op card, if there are 6 CRs, set tension to critical. Otherwise, set tension to low. So our tension is going to go back to low because there are no 6 CRs, there's only 3. And that goes in here. And then we could play the one operation. And their first operation after operations. So they would do phone op. Okay, phone op card, scoring card is face down, so we won't do any phone op operations. So, or not phone op, CR for them, I should say. So placing influence with the operations value not used to place. So place influence. Place 1 influence in each country with face-up scoring cards that are not locked. So according to their priority, they would do Malaysia. They only have 1, so they're going to take 1 of theirs and they're going to put it in Malaysia. And it will go in diplomatic because economic is already full. So that is the end of theirs. I am up next. I have 4 cards left. I still won't be able to play this, but I might play it for the operations value. So I think that's what I'm going to do. This one has the Philippines on it. Although so does this one. Then we have economics and Malaysia. I'm going to play this to score the Philippines because I have the edge. So we're going to play that, and I'm going to flip the Philippines card, which is this one. And the differential scores it as victory points not exceeding 3. So I only have 1 more than they do, so I get 1, which is going to tie us back up at 0. That is the end of my turn. We'll draw for them. We get another neutral card. This would be Secretary General of the UN. So we go through the same thing again. They can't do the mode. They could do Malaysia, and they do have the edge in Malaysia, so they could play this for scoring, and that's what I believe they are supposed to do here. So we'll put that down, and they will score Malaysia, and that is here. And again, it's all the same. They're going to get 1. The Spratly Islands. Actually, they've got a 2-point edge here because it's 4-2. So they're going to get 2 victory points for scoring this one. So they get 2. Slide that over, and it goes back to being my turn. I've got a 2 and 2 1s. Now, I will play this for its operations value. And what I will do is I have 1 cube left in reserve. I'll move it to available. That's 1. And then I'll take it from available, and I'm going to put it in economic in Brunei. Because I have this card right here, so I'm hoping next turn I can score economics because I'm ahead of him right now. So now we'll go back to the bot. We draw the card. It is a Chinese card. It is a 2, so they can play this for the event. And they will because it does have place 3 Chinese diplomatic influence on it. So they can, well, they could attempt to score with Brunei, actually. If we follow our sequence of play, Brunei is tied. So the second thing to check is a match. And they can actually match because they're both trade. I said economic, it's actually trade. So when your modes match, in this event, I don't think this would actually be something that they would want to do because the event is place 1 Chinese economic influence in 2 countries. There's only 1 open economic slot for them, and it's here in Vietnam. So they would not be able to place the second. And the scoring value is 2. And the Philippines is already scored. So this would, they're going to have to play this for its operation value or for its event. So I think they would play this for the event because it enables them to place 3 diplomatic influence, and they have 3 cubes left. So they're going to play this for the 3. They're going to take their 3 cubes, and according to the event card, we'll draw the solo card here. We get Vietnam, Philippines, Brunei. So Vietnam will get 1 diplomatic. Philippines will get a diplomatic, which ties them up with me again. So that was good for them. And then Brunei gets the 3rd one. All right. And now it goes back to me. We have 2 1 1 card's left, and looking at economic, we're still tied because all the economic is tied up. So because we have 3, 5, 7, 8. Wait, 3, 5, 7, 8, 11. Oh, we do have the economic edge. That's right. They only have 10. 2, 4, 6, 7, 10. So we're going to play this for the score, and we'll take the economics point. So that we will flip the economics card, and for each country in which a side has the most economic influence, that side scores 1 victory point. So we look at the countries. So we have the edge in Vietnam, and that is all. So we score 1 victory point, and we flip this to its. So there are 3 countries that are not yet scored, those being Vietnam, Indonesia, and Brunei. Now I also have the edge here in Vietnam, but we'll see what happens because my last card is Malaysia, which they actually have the edge in. So we'll draw for them. They get Vietnam. The mode does not match. So they're going to end up playing this, I believe. So the event card, they won't score Vietnam because they're behind. So we have to draw, and the mode does not match. So we're going to draw a solo card. And it does not have a Chinese flag on it. So let's put this down for a moment. Now we've got to look at, check for friendly mode match. If match, no. So we don't have the mode match. If tension's not critical, blah, blah. If solo event card is a 1-op card, it is. If there are 6 CRs, set tension to critical, no. Otherwise, set tension to low. It is already low. If tension's not critical and the solo card indicates political warfare for China, it does not. So we perform operations. So again, we're going to do operations. The top country on here is Indonesia. So they are going to get 1. They're going to get 1. Actually, they don't have any cubes left. So I'm not sure what happens when you don't have any cubes left. I guess they don't do anything if you don't have any cubes. They don't have any cubes in political warfare. Running out of cubes. Okay, move and influence to available from a country with a face-down scoring card. So, we have scored Malaysia, so they can take one of these out. If there are multiple countries to choose from, which there are, we have Malaysia and the Philippines. So these two, in which they both have cubes. So let's see, if there are multiple countries, select the option listed lowest. That would be the Philippines. So they're going to take a cube from the Philippines and move it to Indonesia, it looks like. Diplomatic influence if the economic scoring card is face up. So Indonesia is up, but their economic is full. So the second one would be Brunei, that's also full. Then Vietnam, which does have an economic, so they're going to put it there. All right, so now I'm up, and I have 1 card, 1 op. It is Malaysia, 1 op card. I do have a political warfare. I could have elected to play it, which would have let me lock one of the countries. So I could have said we're going to lock Vietnam. That doesn't really do anything at this point because we're done with the campaign. But it is what it is. So now we would go to the scoring section. Okay, so we didn't score. We don't score here at the end of this. So what we're going to do is we're going to take. We're going to have to get set up for the next one. So we would deal the next 6 cards out for me. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Put those down. Then we turn all our scoring cards face up. So all the ones that I put down before, I need to flip them back over. So I will do that. Then we take any locks and move it to available. That moves 1 for me. And phone op as well, so this would also go to my available. The CR cubes remain, Each side moves one friendly economic influence cube in each country to the available space. So we take 1, 2, 3, 4, and one more, and then they would move 1, 2, 3, 4. The tension would go back 1 to the left. It's already on low. Each side move the campaign track marker to 2. I'll do that right there. Shuffle the solo discard pile and solo deck to form a new deck. Okay, so we have to do that. That's it. That's it. We are now ready to go on to the second campaign. However, since I like to keep my videos short, that's going to end this one. If you want to see more, let me know. This could be a solo Sunday type of thing where I do the second part maybe as part of that. Or I could just move on if you feel like you've got a grip on how this game plays. I'm sure I messed some stuff up because I always do. So if I screwed something up, please let me know. This is an enjoyable game. It's not overly complicated, so that doesn't mean I won't screw it up, but there are some little things to remember that I probably did not. But in general, yeah, I'm enjoying it, so I would be inclined to keep playing. But from a time standpoint, I know typically people don't tend to watch videos that are longer than 10 minutes. Basically, looking at the numbers and the analytics on YouTube, the longer they are, some people will watch the whole thing, and I do appreciate that. So if you did watch to the end without skipping, that's you're a rare bird, I guess, is how I might put it in that case. But anyway, that's going to do it. So like I said, please feel free to comment. Let me know if you would like to see more or whatever other questions or thoughts you might have. That's always welcome. In addition, please consider liking, sharing, and or subscribing. Give me some positive feedback. That is also always greatly appreciated. But yeah, that will do it for now. My name's Joe. This is the Hexed Encounter channel. And until next time, as always, happy gaming.